I feel like my winter garden this year was a little bit of a flop. If we were relying on what I grew in the garden in order to sustain us in eating, we would be going a little bit hungry. Fortunately, this is just a learning curve, and there's so many things that I would do differently next time. Hi, I'm Jodes, the Goshen Gardener, and join me now as I just talk through some of the things I've learnt in my winter garden this year. Mistake number one was that I was so focused on the end of my summer garden and harvesting that produce and dealing with that produce that I didn't think ahead to be planting early enough, ready for the next lot of succession harvesting. If you don't keep planting regularly, you can't keep reaping regularly. Coupled with that, I had some plants that I kept in the garden. So this garden bed here had zucchini and it had tomatoes, and I reaped the last of the cherry tomatoes in July, which seemed like a success in the sense that still reaping tomatoes in July, but taking up garden bed space for 3 cherry tomatoes was probably not the wisest use of space. If I just had unlimited garden beds, that'd be great, because it's fun, isn't it, to reap things successively through the year. But I needed to really think about using that space better and planting in preparation for the winter crops. Mistake number two, or I don't know if this is 2 or 3, because that was kind of 2 mistakes rolled into one, but timing was number 1, and number 2, I guess, was not sacrificing the end harvest of some of my crops that were just starting to finish up. So let's call this mistake number 3, was not sowing enough seeds. I got very excited about the fact that I wanted to grow things from seed and learn that. And I was thinking about succession planting in the sense of planting a few at a time, but I just didn't keep it going. So we've got some beautiful heads of purple Sicily cauliflower here, but I've just got the 2 because I didn't keep going. And that was partly because I didn't keep going and partly because I was short on space. And so because I hadn't cut down my tomatoes and my zucchini, I wasn't thinking about where I could put them. Well, I didn't have anywhere to put them, and so it was a bit dodgy. So one of the things I've learned in my research watching more experienced gardeners is that they will sow way more seeds than they need, and in doing that, then they've got plenty to choose from when it comes to seedlings. For example, like even with my broccoli, I did plant more broccoli seeds. I think I planted 4, and really I've only got 1 successful plant and a couple of dodgy looking plants. But if I'd doubled that, if I'd sort of planted double what I needed, then the ones that are successful would have had more of a chance to come of a crop. And then mistake number 4 was the fact that because I was so keen on learning to grow seeds, that I should have been buying some seedlings as well while I'm learning, because growing from seed is a whole new skill set, and I'm finding that some of the stuff I grew from seeds germinated, but it wasn't as healthy a plant as the seedlings that you can buy that clearly are grown by people that have slightly more experience than me. So then I finally have got around to, just the other day, purchased some extra seedlings. It's a little bit late in the season, but I've tried to pick things that were a bit of a shoulder crop for the seasons, because I'm sick of my garden bed looking so bare and empty. So over here, I'm going to put in some sugarloaf cabbage. These are a smaller cabbage. They grow a little bit faster. I'm hoping to sneak that in before the weather gets too warm and before I need room for more of my summer crops. And I've tried over and over to grow kale. Guys, if you have any tips on growing kale from seed, I thought it was going to be easy, but I haven't been able to grow that from seed. So this is called a Candy Crush kale. And again, it'll be ready in just a few weeks. And some baby spinach, because that's going to be also ready in a few weeks. As you can see, we've got some nice little lettuces coming on. We'll be able to harvest. So it's not a complete bust, but it's certainly not going to feed us. And mistake number 5 was that I didn't have a good understanding of the garden. This is a new garden bed this season, and I had a fence here, and the fence was shading it from the sun, and so these plants weren't getting enough sun. But we took the fence down, and now they're getting buffeted by the wind. So I think you just got to give yourself some grace as you're getting to know what to do in the garden. Like, you don't know until you have a go what's going to happen, where the sun is, where the wind is, where there's going to be problems. And so it's just a matter of having a go, and then having a go and trying something different. So they're pretty much my big top mistakes that I feel have diminished our returns in the garden this winter. But I'm really excited about the fact that I get to have another go. Summer's around the corner. I'm already starting to think and prepare, ready for that. I've already learnt that. I'm going to still keep trying with the seeds, but I'm also not going to be afraid to buy seedlings. And so, yeah, lots of lessons from the garden that I'm going to take forward into the next season and beyond. If you've got some tips for me, feel free to leave them in the comments. We would love to learn what works and doesn't work for you. And if you've got some mistakes you've made that you want to share, let's just be real together, because gardening is definitely a journey, not a destination. Thanks for listening. We will catch you next time. Bye.